Hi, a very good evening, everyone. So today, what I have decided that I'll be discussing 10 to 12 epidemiological questions, which are generally asked in our undergraduate practical examination. And these questions are very easy. And let me apprise you by saying that we don't require any formula for solving such questions. If your understanding of the topic is clear, it becomes very easy to solve such questions. So without delay, I'll just start so that I can complete within 10 minutes. Now, students, you can see the first question I have taken the simple one, and it happens to be question says, and what we should do always, we should read the question properly, and we should also try to extract the information given in the question. So, if we see this question, a district has a total population of 10 lakhs. So, I can see here the population happens to be 10 lakh, right? So if I write in numbers, it is like this, with under 16 population being 30%. So under 16 population is 30%. So before I proceed further, I can see here that 30% of the total population is under 16. So if I ask what is 30% of 10 lakh, then it happens to be 3 lakh. Simple mathematics. So 3 lakh people are those people whose age is under 16, right? So this is the first part of the information which we have of which was given in the question, and we have tried to derive information based on that. The second part of the question says the prevalence of blindness is 0.8 per 1000. Now you see here, so what does that say means? So, and per 1000 under 16 population, so for every 1000 under 16 population, the number of blind people in under 16 is 0.8. This is given in the question. Now what we have to do, we have to calculate the total number of blind among under 16 population. Now it becomes so easy. If the population is 1000, under 16 population is 1000, and the prevalence is 0.8, so for every 1000 the prevalence is 0.8. So in 1000 is, if it is 0.8, so what will happen in 3 lakh, because 3 lakh population is under 16 population. So it is simple mathematics, 0.8 into 1000 into 3 lakhs. If you cut this, it becomes 240. So this is the prevalence number of total number of blind people under the age of 16. So this is solved. So it's simple understanding. If you understand the question properly, it becomes easy to solve. Now let's go to the second question. And again, what we'll do, we'll try to take extract information from the question. Now, the question says in a town of population 5,000. So I have a population of 5,000 of a town, right? The next part of the question says 500 are already myopic on January 1st. Okay, so in this 5,000 population, 500 are already myopic, right? And this is on January 1st, 2001. So if I ask you here, now stop here, don't read the other part of the question. So in the population of 5,000, when 500 are already myopic, so what is the vulnerable population which could be myopic? So what I'll do, 5,000 minus 500, so it becomes 4,500. So for me now, the vulnerable population or population at risk is 4,500, right? This is the information extracted based on the first part of the question. The second part says number of new myopia cases. Okay, new myopia cases is 90 till December 2011, right? Okay, so the new cases is 90 till December 2011. Okay, very good. So they are saying, can you calculate the incidence of myopia? We all know what is incidence. We know incidence is number of new cases out of total vulnerable population or population at risk, and we express generally in thousand, right? So new cases here is 90. Vulnerable population, the trick in this question is that did you subtract 500? Yes, I did in the initial part, and then we are expressing in thousand. So this is your incidence, right? So what you can do, I can cut this, I can cut this, I can cut this. If I cut this, so it becomes 20. So the incidence is 20 per thousand population in the given question. Simple. Okay. Now let's go to the third part of the question. Third question, sorry. Now, again read the question. In an investigation to study the effect of smoking on renal cell cancer. Okay, so there is an effect of smoking on renal cell cancer. The disease we have renal cell cancer, and the variable exposure is smoking. The variable is smoking. It is observed that 30 of the 50 patients. Now stop here. 50 patients means 50 patients. So first thing which comes in my mind is patient means case. And already the question is saying patient means the person is case. And what disease the people are suffering? Renal cell cancer. So 50 patients. Now in this what they're saying, it is observed that 30 of the 50 patients are smokers. Now let us think 50 are the patients, 30 are smokers, so remaining 20 becomes non-smoker, right? So this is the first part. Now the second part says as compared to 10 out of 50 control subjects. So we have 50 control subjects, right? And in this it is saying 10 were smokers. If 10 were smokers, so what happens to 40? They are non-smokers, right? So now we can calculate in three ways. First way, what is the odd in cases? This part 30 by 20. What is the odd in control? It is 10 by 40. So what is the odd ratio? Just take ratio of these two. You can write 30 by 20 divided by 10 by 40. That happens to be 30 into 40 divided by 10 into 20. So if you see, the answer is 6. So the odd ratio here is 6. So if odd ratio greater than 1, then we say there is a positive association. If odd ratio is equal to 1, no association. If odd ratio less than 1, it is negative association. Now this is one way of solving it. We are also very much familiar about odd ratio. I'll just write here. Odd ratio, generally students what they do, odd ratio is also called as cross product ratio. Now to utilize this and to understand this, we also make 2 into 2 table. Now don't hesitate in making 2 into 2 table, and don't hesitate in putting in the column what should we put, in the rows what we should put. Let's take, this is my column, right? So I have kept here diseased, I have kept here not diseased, right? And then in the row column I have kept exposed and non-exposed, right? So how many people were diseased? How many people were cases? I can write here case, control. So cases were 50 and controls were also 50. So total population is 100. In this 50, number of people who were exposed, who were smoking was 30. So 20 are non-smoker. Non-exposed means non-smoking. In non means those who were control 50, 10 were smokers, so 40 were non-smokers. Now you just add this is 40, this is 60. So my 2 by 2 table has been prepared. As I said, odd ratio is also called cross product ratio. Can you do this? So 30 into 40 divided by 10 into 20. You go and calculate, it will be 6. What I'll do, I'll change this. Now I'll put this here, I'll put this here. Now what you do, exposed, sorry, just a second. Yeah, I'll just take fresh one. Exposed, non-exposed, right? And what I am doing in the, in the row section, I am putting disease here, and I am putting not disease. Means this is case and this is control, right? So case we all know we had 50, control we all know it was 50. Now just if you have understood the question, out of 50 cases 30 were smoking, so 20 were not smoking, and out of 50 controls 10 were smoking, 40 were not smoking. So my total becomes 40 here and 60. Again we can do this cross product, 30 into 40 divided by 10 into 20, the result is same. So three ways I can you can use this table, you can use this table, or you can also solve odd ratio without putting any table if you have understood the concept. And if I go back just to show you, you have to just know the odds in cases, you have to just know odds in control, and accordingly you can take the ratio both and you get odd ratio. You can solve in this way, if not you can solve in this way and this way also. Anyway you solve, the answer will be same if you have understood correctly, right? Let's go to the fourth question. The fourth question says, and again I have said, just try to understand the question and dissect the question one by one, it will be very easy. So in a study of 200 smokers, okay, so it is saying we have 200 smokers and 600 non-smokers, right, were followed up for the period of 10 years. So now I have understood, since these smokers and non-smokers were followed for the period of 10 years, so this is a classic example of cohort study, right? Okay, so followed for the period of 10 years to find out number of cases of hypertension, incidence of hypertension. So what they found, out of 200 smokers, 60 developed hypertension. So okay, in 200, 60 developed hypertension. As compared to in 600 non-smokers, 30 developed hypertension. Okay. Now they are telling us to calculate risk ratio, which is also called relative risk, right? Relative risk, we all know, it is comparison of ratio of incidence in exposed out of incidence in non-exposed. Now, and we know what is incidence, number of new cases in the vulnerable population. So 200s were smoking, 60 had hypertension. So what is the incidence? 60 by 200. I'm not putting into 1000 students, we have to be very mindful and clear in our concept. 1000, 10,000, 100, 1 lakh, whatever you write here, that is the way you are expressing it. So here we are not going to solve per 1000 because we don't need. You can solve it also, but we don't need. So I can say 60 per 2000 is incidence in exposed. Now incidence in non-exposed is obviously 30 by 600 then. And I said relative risk is equal to incidence in exposed out of incidence in non-exposed, means the ratio of both. So just put value 60 by 200 divided by 30 by 600. So if you calculate 600 by 30, you're getting the answer 6. So relative risk is 6. Relative risk greater than 1, positive association. Relative risk is equal to 1, negative association. No association. And relative risk less than 1, negative association. Right? So this is simple. Okay. Now, let's take the next question. Question number 5. Incidence of carcinoma cervix in women with multiple sexual partners. So the exposure, the variable is multiple sexual partner, right? So the incidence they are saying in women with multiple sexual partner is 5 times the incidence in single partner, right? So if single partner, if the incidence is 1, so in multiple sexual partner the incidence will be 5. Now based on this, what is the attributable risk? They are telling us to calculate attributable risk. Now students, try to understand this. Let me put 5 females, A, B, C, D, E, right? All these 5 females are exposed to multiple sexual partner, so there is a possibility of developing CA cervix. But in single sexual partner also, one female has developed, let's put X, she has also developed CA cervix, right? Now this all females, they have understood that just because they were exposed to multiple sexual partnership, so they developed carcinoma cervix. But they asked this question to X, that you were not involved in multiple sexual partnership, why did you develop CA cervix? So based on this question, you can make a conclusion that there is a possibility of some other factor also which can lead to CA cervix. Now imagine this A, B, C, D, E, they were not exposed to multiple sexual partner. If they are not exposed, hypothetically, please consider that they are not exposed, then out of this, there is every possibility that one may develop CS cervix based on some other factor. So I can say, what is the risk difference? Risk difference is incidence in exposed minus incidence in non-exposed, which happens to be here 5 minus 1, that is 4. So I can say out of 5 who were exposed to multiple sexual partner, 4 will be definitely attributed to multiple sexual partner. So if I say 5 minus 1, which is 4, out of 5, and if I take percentage, I can say it is 80%, then I am in a position to say, means 80% of females who are developing CA cervix is definitely due to multiple sexual partners. 20% of CA cervix, if it is developing, that may be due to other reason, right? Now, what is the formula of attributable risk? Answer is correct, but let me draw the information from here and we'll try to develop a formula. What is 5? 5 is incidence in exposed group. What is incidence in non-exposed group here? What is 1 here? Incidence non-exposed. And I said, what is this 5? Incidence in exposed, and you put 100. So this is the typical formula of attributable risk. Even if you don't remember this, based on the simple understanding, you can calculate this and you can get the knowledge, get the attributable risk. Now what is this understanding of attributable risk? So if you remove multiple sexual partner as a risk factor, you will be reducing carcinoma cervix by 80%, not more than that, because 20% is definitely due to some other factor which I am not aware about. So this is attributable risk. Now, just to give you a good understanding of relative risk, when I say incidence in exposed and you are taking a ratio of incidence in non-exposed, right? So you want to see whether there is a more number of disease developing in exposed group in comparison to non-exposed group. So this is my relative risk. What is the risk difference? I want to see incidence in exposed, I want to see how non-exposed group. Just like in the example I gave you just now, A, B, C, D, E, there were 5 females who were exposed to multiple sexual partners and one female were not exposed to single sexual partner. They also developed CS cervix. These females also developed CS cervix, but they were exposed to this, so they developed. So we understood why did she develop. She was not exposed to any multiple sexual partner, so there is some other factor which has caused CS cervix. So imagine this A, B, C, D, E. They are not exposed to multiple sexual partner, so every possibility of one female developing single sexual partner. So the risk difference is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So out of 5, which is in the question, it was saying 5 were exposed to multiple sexual partner, 4 is definitely attributed to multiple sexual partner. Now convert these numbers into formula. How did you get 4? You got 4 by subtracting incidence in non-exposed from incidence in exposed, and you took the percentage out of incidence exposed and you got this 100. So this is my attributable risk. I hope it is clear. Relative risk, risk difference, and attributable risk. So in the question it was 80%. So what does that mean? That means that if you remove multiple sexual partner as a risk factor, you will be able to reduce carcinoma cervix by 80% in the exposed group. 20% there is a possibility there may be some other reason also. Okay. So these are the 5 questions which I have dealt now. So I'll stop it here and I'll try to complete the other questions in my subsequent class, right? I hope these 5 questions have become easy, and if you have any doubt, if you have any question, do reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you like the video, please subscribe my channel. Please click the bell icon so that any new videos where I upload, you get the notification. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.